is Saturday, January 18th, and my name is Karen, and this is BobbleHeadKnits. So welcome everybody, whether you've been here before or this is your first time. I appreciate all of you coming to check out my vlog. So I'm a bit flustered, just so you know. This is the second time I've had to record this. I'll tell you why in a bit. Also, let's start off right away by pointing out that today is my second vlog anniversary. Vlogaversary, I guess you would call it. So there'd be some confetti and applause and all that if I knew how to do it, but I don't. So yeah, this is what you get. Instead, we're going to do a giveaway a little later in the episode. So just stick around and we'll talk giveaway after we get some things out of the way. You know, like the knitting stuff. All right, hang on. I am just opening my computer up to add to the light because it is a bit late here. It is almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm recording a day late and I had some issues, as I mentioned. I'll just go ahead and tell you now because we're already off to just a crazy rambling start. I went to record, well, first I was gonna intentionally record a day late because I was like, I'll just record on my actual anniversary and then we can have a real party and celebrate and all that. I went to record and my husband had borrowed my tripod on Monday, said he would have it back here in time for me to record today. He did not, so he was briefly in my doghouse. So I recorded a whole video. I put it, I had the phone propped up. It was on 10 books. And then I had it resting on this with this behind the phone itself to prop it up. It was this terrible angle. And I recorded the whole thing because why not? Towards the end of it, I kept getting all these messages from my husband and my son. Turned out my son was going to go to his office, so he was going to pick up the tripod. But I was like, oh no, I don't need it. I'm recording, whatever. You know, I just went ahead and continued recording. And then I went to edit it and get it uploaded. And I realized I had recorded the whole thing in slow-mo. Yes, slow-mo. It was pretty funny, but I couldn't figure out. I was like, why is this an hour long? That's why. So as it turned out, my son was going into his office, so he went ahead and grabbed the tripod, and I was like, okay, quick, I gotta get on the computer. I gotta get on my phone and record before the sun goes down. So here we are. All right, there. I've done a whole 3 minutes and not really talked about anything. Okay, well, I did note the anniversary, so it's a big deal. All right, in case you're wondering, I'm in Colorado and it is very cold here today. We had a big snowstorm last night and it's 12 degrees, so it's a little chilly. So I am wearing my Pierre pullover. I'll back up a bit so you can see it. There it is. I would stand up, but I'm wearing like lounge pants, so you're good. Not seeing that. Okay, let's talk about some WIMPs. I have no finished objects. I was going to have a finished object. I was planning on having a finished object, and then I got distracted by a little game of Zelda. For those of you that have been here, you know that I like a good game of Zelda on the Nintendo Switch. I got sucked into it, so I didn't finish the project I was going to finish. But instead, it's a whip, and I'm almost done with it, and I'll show it to you now. There it is. This is the Someone to Write Gnome About gnome. There he is. And I have finished the body, finished the hat, finished, hold on, I gotta get the other finished parts. The 2 legs right here, 2 legs. Okay, the one's a little wonky. They're both a little wonky, honestly. If we're being totally honest, they're both wonky legs. They're fine though. It's a gnome. I'm almost like halfway done with the beard. It will be done today. And then I have the nose to do. And then I have to assemble the whole thing. However, I've decided that before I assemble it, I am going to block all the flat pieces, especially the hat, because the hat should be longer. I think the problem, well, one, it will stretch when I block it, but also I think I knit the body a bit longer than it was, or a bit bigger, longer than it was supposed to be. So the hat's not as long as it's supposed to be, but it's fine either way. But I'm going to stretch it a little to see if I can get a little bit more out of it. It should, the pictures I've seen of these, they're like, some of them are all the way down to the end or longer. So yeah. So next week this will be done. As many of you know, this was a September mystery knit along from Sarah Shira, who designs these. I did not cast on in September like I had planned to. I got too busy with life stuff, as many of you know. And yeah, so I didn't really cast on until November. Then it was like, oh, I want to get it done by Christmas. That didn't happen. So here we are in January, and I'm knitting away on it. It's a kit from, or the yarn was a set from Mustache Yarn. It was part of the knit along. You could get, you know, the yarn from Mustache Yarn, or you could just use whatever yarn. I bought the whole thing, thinking I was going to participate, and I didn't. They just came out with the smaller version of this also. Excuse me. So there is now a miniature gnome like this also that you can get, and the pattern's on Ravelry, and then you can also get Mustache Yarn has the pattern or the kit for the smaller one also. So very lovely. This is something that is going to stay here. It's actually meant to stay in my office, but Atticus has spotted it, and I think Atticus may be playing with it, and that's fine. For those of you that don't know, Atticus is my 21-month-old. He's 21 months old tomorrow. 21-month-old grandson, not son. But he lives 3 doors down and across the street. So he comes over here often. So he already spotted this sitting on the table without anything, and you could tell he wanted to play with it. He picked it up, but then he got distracted by something else. So I think once I get it all assembled, he will be playing with it, and that's totally fine. I would send this over to his house. However, it is stuffed. The bottom part has about a cup and a half of dried beans, and the rest is just stuffing. But the beans worry me because, you know, he's still young enough that if it got a hole or he stuck his, you know, if he just pulled the beans out, they're just in a baggie, he could get into them, and I don't want to create a choking risk. So yeah. So that's why it's staying over here. All right. I might eventually make him one. Actually, I might make him a miniature one, but not right away. The designer is doing a year of gnomes kind of make along, and every month she has a specific pattern that you have to knit if you want to participate. I don't really have a use for 12 gnomes, so I'm not going to participate. But if that's your thing, yes, do go check her out. Okay, next whip. Most of you know that I do every month. I grab from my big bag of sock yarn, and my January yarn that I pulled was this beautiful skein. Let's see, there it is. This is from James and Makes Yarn. And the sock that I am knitting is the DRK Everyday Sock. It's a rib pattern from Andrea Mowry. I am up to the heel on the first one. This sock is really a different pattern for me because it is toe up as opposed to cuff down. And I have not done a toe up pattern since I started knitting socks years ago. I knit a few pair of socks toe up. I said it's not for me. I'm never knitting socks again. And then, of course, a few years ago, I picked socks back up and did cuff down, and it was fine. And I, love knitting socks, but I was like, let's try a toe-up sock. So I'm hoping that this will fit better than the heel or the cuff down ones. And so far it definitely is. I am at the point on the first sock. I have the second one cast on also, but the first sock, I'm to the heel, which is a Flegel heel, which I have never knit that I know of. Maybe I did in the first way back when, but it's been a long time. So I'm a bit confused on the pattern. So because of that, I decided, okay, now would be a good time to cast on the second sock and focus on getting the second sock to the heel, and then I'll deal with that. So that's where we are. This is the heel color. Right now I'm thinking I will go ahead and do the heel in this red color. So I have this red and green. These are Soccer Mom Knits. The thought was because this is a Christmas colorway from 2 years ago that I would do some Christmas colors. But then I fell in love, or I saw this purple. So, and it has purple in there. If you can see, all those colors are in there. So I'm going to do this for the cuff. However, because I'm a bit confused by the heel pattern so far, I may just stick to the pink for the heel also. I don't know yet. I'm going to revisit the heel on this after I get the second sock to the same point. So here is the second sock. Maybe. It's somewhere. It's not very much to show because I just cast it on. Hopefully I will get it to a good place. Like I will get the heel done and get on with the foot starting tomorrow. So that's all I have for the second one. There it is. You can't really tell, but that is the toe. It's a Turkish cast on, so you can't, it's a beautiful cast on, it really is, and fairly easy to do, but it's a different cast on for me too. So lots of things challenging me in this sock. So I need to get on that though, because January is almost over, unbelievably. Okay. So that's whip number 2. So 2 of the yarns are Soccer Mom Knits. The main color is James Makes Yarn. And then I don't know what the purple yarn is, honestly. No clue. All right. Another Christmas whip that did not get done. Here is my husband's Dustlin sweater. Here it is. It's beautiful. This was supposed to be his Christmas gift. I did not get it done. He understood. So it has now become his Valentine's Day gift. I may not get it done in time for Valentine's. The rate we're going, we may never get this sweater done. All right, I basically knit that much, if you look at that. I was split for the sleeves last week, but I hadn't gone very far, basically. Can you even see that? It's so fuzzy. Sorry. It's blurry there. Cover, maybe, yeah, just take my word for it, okay? I made a mistake in it on the previous row. I realized it towards the end of the previous row, but rather than rip it out, I just am going forward, and every stitch I drop down a stitch. This is the second time that this has happened, so it's just tedious. I'm knitting that in Shibui Knits, and the colorway is Haven, or no, the base is Haven, the colorway is Caper. You can no longer buy that yarn. You can buy certain colorways and bases, but through Madeline Tosh of Shibui, but the original dyer retired, so yeah. All right, and I'm holding the DK weight double. If I can't remember if I said that, so it's worsted weight. All right, next whip is my Musselburgh, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, Musselburgh, Zelda Teague. Got that? This looks familiar because it's the same yarn as the gnome hat. The gnome hats, I think the yarn's more beautiful on the gnome hat, but it's still fine on this. Here. There it is. There you can see it. It's beautiful yarn. Sorry, now I got the hiccups. This is, like I said, mustache yarn in the colorway Kamorbi. And I'm more than halfway done. I'm on the second 50 gram skein of the yarn. So I'm more than halfway done. It's just my mindless knitting, of which I need a lot of. So it's getting there. See? And this is for me. It's my second my second hat by that pattern designer in that particular pattern. That's what I'm going to say. And yeah, hopefully it will fit better than the first one. All right, it is getting dark, so I'm going to speed this up. Sorry, I'm putting all this back into my big knitting basket so I don't lose anything. All right, so that's it as far as active whips that I made any progress on. I do have a few more whips, but I haven't worked on them in a while, so I won't share them with you. I have no acquisitions that have arrived. Hopefully next week I will have my yarn that I bought in December that I pre-ordered for January. So hopefully next week. I thought it was going to be here this week, but she actually had just printed out the shipping label, which triggered something in Shopify, which said it's on its way, but it really wasn't. So yeah, but yeah. Okay, now let's talk about a giveaway because it is my podiversary, vlogaversary, I don't know what you call it, but basically I've been doing this for 2 years. I've really enjoyed it. I'm surprised at how much I enjoy it. Now that I've figured out things as far as, the best way to edit, the best time of day, my process, all that stuff, it's gotten a lot easier. Also, it has helped that I've gotten things like a new computer, which can speed things up. I wish I had better lighting. Let me tell you that. That's the only bad thing. In fact, I'm gonna pause this very briefly just to adjust the lighting, and then we'll come back and talk giveaway. Okay, hang on. I just opened the blind a little bit more. It is snowing out there, but the sun is kind of out, but it's also like late enough in the day that the sun's going down, so it's just, yeah, not the best, but it is what it is, right? Okay, giveaway. I'd love to give away some yarn because we all know I have a huge stash, but the problem with that is that it's really expensive to ship if you don't live in the US. It's really expensive to ship in the US too, honestly, but to keep it fair, I'm gonna give away a pattern. And that way anyone, anywhere in the world can enter. All you have to do, 1, be a subscriber, and I will check. 2, leave me a comment about what pattern you would like if you win, okay? Next Friday, or Saturday, I'm not sure which one yet, I will record, I will do a drawing, and give away a pattern. And just keep the pattern under $15, okay? If it's a pattern that's not on Ravelry, that's fine too. If you win though, you'll have to tell me it's not on Ravelry, okay? All right, that's it. That's all the knitting stuff. All right, if you want to go away now because you don't care about my life stuff, that's fine. I understand that. If you wouldn't mind though, do give me a like and subscribe, because that does help as far as pushing my videos out to more people. So I just like in the last month hit 300 subscribers. It was like, woohoo! So this is kind of a celebration of that also, but I would love to keep those 300 subscribers and get some more. So yeah, just like and subscribe. That would be wonderful. And it doesn't cost you anything, and I won't like spam you or anything, I promise. I won't even have your email basically. So, all right. I realized I don't have my little earbuds in, so hopefully the sound is okay on these, but I'm not gonna stop recording at this point. You get what you get again. All right, let's talk about life stuff for those of you staying. Life stuff, okay. So I went to the doctor last week just for physical. Everything was fine. I got all my meds. They did blood work, all that, and I still have all the things I had before. Nothing's gone away, nothing's gotten better. So nothing's gotten worse either, so that's good. What else? Oh, okay. Now though, as long as we're talking about medical stuff, I have had the last 48 hours, my right leg, I don't know what it is. It's felt really tight, the whole leg, and my leg is swelling up. And so I'm a little worried about that. It doesn't hurt, it just feels like tight. And most of the swelling, like it's really obvious around my knee, but I didn't injure it, so I don't know. I will probably not do anything about it. I don't want to go deal with the doctors and all that, and I go back to work tomorrow. So a lot of you know I work Sunday through Thursday, so I'll deal with it next weekend should it continue. I don't know if like if it's just from sitting so much or what. I'm a little worried because I do sit a lot for work, and even though I have a desk that I can raise and lower, I do tend to sit more than I stand, and I do worry that I'm gonna get a blood clot or something. So I'll keep an eye on it. But for right now, that's the only complaint I have. It just started like 2 days ago though, so I didn't really take it serious until this morning, and then I was looking at it, and my husband's looking at it. He's like, it looks kind of swollen. And I was like, yeah. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. All right. Yesterday I was off, and we went, Atticus was with us. We had a little Atticus date, and we went to, there's a mall in Denver that has this big like play area for kids. It's all dinosaurs and real plush and all. And so we took him there to play. Actually, I had an ulterior motive to go there. So we went there, and I convinced my husband, let's go to Williams-Sonoma. So our 30th wedding anniversary is coming up. And in past years, we have traveled, we have had parties, we have had fancy dinners, we've all the things. And this year, we can't travel because I, as many of you know, started a new job in August, and I don't really have the luxury of taking off a week right now. I can take off time and get paid vacation, but it's like too soon, and plus it's like real busy right now, and so all that stuff going on. Plus my husband is having some minor surgery next week, and our anniversary is in like 3 weeks. So I did not think that it would be wise that we do anything involving travel. So my husband and I both really love coffee, and good coffee. And we are French press people. We use a French press. However, we like espresso also. We have a little stovetop, one of those Italian things that sit on your stove and you make espresso that way. But we've been looking at getting a fancy espresso maker. And I was like, well, let's just go to Williams-Sonoma and check them out. So we did. We ended up buying one. We didn't actually buy it in the store because, well, we didn't take it home, basically. We have to have it delivered. It's coming later this week because the finish that we wanted, they didn't have in stock, so it's coming. So, yeah, that was a productive little date with Atticus. It worked out well. My husband was totally on board with it, though, and he knew we'd been talking about it. So it's kind of a funny thing, and I'll tell you this funny story, and then we'll move on so I don't go too long. My son and daughter-in-law are not coffee drinkers, but occasionally my son would pop over after dinner and ask us to make him a cappuccino. Usually my husband, because we do have the little espresso maker. So we would do that. And then over the holidays, my daughter-in-law, who does not like sugar or anything sweet, started drinking gingerbread lattes from Starbucks. And she knew that twice a week I will walk down the street and there's a Starbucks like 5 blocks away, and I will walk down there and get a Starbucks as a treat. And so she has been asking me to get her a Starbucks, so I've been doing that. But the other day she had me bring her Starbucks, and I go in and she looked really tired, and she goes, I've had a headache for 14 hours. And I was like, well, when did you last have coffee? Because I knew she hadn't had it the day before because I hadn't gone to get it, and no one had come to our house to get any, and they don't have a coffee maker. So I was like, she hasn't had any coffee. So she tells me, oh no, if it's because I haven't had coffee, if that's the cause of the headache, then I'm really not going to drink coffee because I don't want to get addicted to it. And I just kind of smiled and handed her gingerbread latte. And about an hour later, I checked back. Oh, my headache's gone. Yeah, she was having caffeine withdrawals. So I just smiled and didn't say anything. And she's like, I think it was a sinus headache. No, it's not. So they were talking about getting a fancy espresso maker, and I think they probably will too. I think they've come around. They understand now the importance of coffee. So for now, though, they will be using ours, I'm sure, when it gets here. So yeah, it's very cute though. They're like, can we come over and get coffee? Can you bring us a latte? It's like, sure. In fact, okay, I totally going off track. Yeah, I tell you, a couple times a week we get a request. Can we bring us a latte? From both of them, not just one. All right, it's very sweet, and we don't mind it. It's wonderful that we get to be so close to all our kids. So, all right. So yes, that's the latte story, the espresso story. What else? Oh, I only work 4 days next week because I am working on MLK on Martin Luther King Day. Our company, everyone has off except we staff 24/7, so certain people have to be there, and I'm volunteered to work. So I will work on Monday, which I was going to work anyways. Like, I've never not worked on MLK Day, even though I feel like the whole country should be off that day and should be doing civic things, but yeah, you know. Anyways, yeah, so I volunteered to work, and then I will be off on Thursday, so I have a 3-day weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. And guess that's it as far as life stuff. Other things, nothing huge. I did finish, we're rewatching Severance on Apple TV. We're rewatching season 1. Season 2 came out yesterday, but we didn't remember season 1 well enough, so we're rewatching it and then we'll start it. So that's been good. we've been making jokes about, now that I'm back in a full-time position in a big corporate place, that I'm working in severance, basically. Yeah, it's just an inside joke. All right, what else? Oh, books. I finished 2 books. I finished Atonement by Ian McEwan and The Great Circle. I cannot remember the author's name on that, and I don't have my computer in front of me or my iPad to look up the author's name, but both were very good. I preferred The Great Circle. They're both kind of set in the same time period, but very different stories. One is about this woman who, from very early on, wants to fly airplanes and how she goes about doing that. And it covers like from the 1920s all the way to present day. And yeah, it's a very good story. The other one was also very good, but very different. It's set in the same time. However, it's more like if you're into like Virginia Woolf or Jane Austen, or, you know, just that kind of language. And so just a very different read. Both took me a long time to get through. One was on audio and one was, I was reading a physical book. So they just took a long time, but both equally good. If you're into either of those, like historical fiction, check them out. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up now because I'm going to lose light like I just did, only because my computer screen froze up. All right, I am going to go ahead and go now. Make sure you leave me a comment telling me what pattern you would like if you won, and I will be doing the drawing next week. I hope everyone has a great week, and talk to you later.